Welcome to the Hiveswap trial. Right now we are presenting information until Brania snaps. What about this? Stop embarrassing yourself. Let's just do whatever. Yeah, Honorable Tyranny, I think we're finished here. Think you might be right, buddy. Wait. A little disappointed, to be honest. Thought it'd be a better show than this. Don't? Yeah, let's go. Wait! Attention, everyone! Before we do anything hasty that we might regret, I have a few facts to point out. 1. The lock was vandalized using a sharp cutting implement. Although this could have indeed been accomplished using the nail file found in Daria's locker, there are other items aboard this train car that could have achieved a similar effect. 3. For example, a bladed striped specubus. 4. There's someone sitting in the gallery right now, currently in possession of such an item. 5. Do not consider all possibilities at this juncture would be irresponsible. Therefore, 6. I suggest the defense call this new witness to the stand. You mean Takiri? Takiri, the Stray-Blood accuses you of committing the capital offense of vandalizing a sacred historical artifact, which also happens to be a piece of subversive contraband. Do you understand the gravity of the situation? It is a double crime. What if I did do it? Huh? Wow. What? Is this a confession? We're just talking hypothetically. See, the troll who committed this crime was both nimble with a blade and a true brain genius. And while I will not admit to anything that would incriminate me, based on these attributes, you are right to suspect. My God, are we really doing this? I must defend my honor. I wouldn't expect a low blood to understand. You're the same blood caste, you dumbass. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. Joey's not gonna rise to some weak bait like, just try me. Let the games begin. Let's engage in a thought experiment. Let's say I did it. Let's say we are having a deeply intellectual exchange of free speech, in which the possibility of my participation in such an act would not result in prosecution. In such a model, one might say that this crime could not have been accomplished with a third-rate specific such as a nail file. This cut is too elegant to have been inflicted by a plebeian using a feminine grooming tool. If you're saying that this crime was indeed a feat of agility and intellect, then it must have been committed by the most cunning warrior on the train. Theory. Are you satisfied the court witness is obviously trolling the court? Aren't we all trolls here? Oh, we sure are. Anyway, something is still bugging me. Let's go over it again, from the top. If you insist. But why? It is the duty of the philosopher to ask questions. No, I mean, why should we guarantee that you won't get prosecuted? Promising that you won't face consequences for what you say is kind of like giving you special privilege. I didn't realize this court was being run by a bunch of CJWs. Are you seriously accusing me of high blood privilege? No, I'm accusing you of being a coward! I see I underestimated you. But in order to defeat me in this theoretical paradigm, you must first prove that I had the motives and the means to compensate for your natural defiancies. I will throw you a bone and admit that. Present figuring and figure 2. Objection! Here, I want you to take a look at this. It's a 125 injection, a modded polyester model of the XXIXIV model, Imperial drone, last active during the Rustblood Zombie Rebellion of the Black Age. But of course, everyone knows that. I didn't know until you told me earlier. You never did explain what you were doing near the Jade lockers, especially since you claim to hate J-drama so much. Could it be that you were looking for something that belonged to you? Oh, he's beginning to sweat. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. What are you waiting for? Swoop in for the kill. Of course, if it doesn't belong to you, you wouldn't mind if I tossed it out. Wait. Objection! Well, before you get rolling, let me save you from wasting your breath. Yes, this is very clever for you to have manufactured an anti-alibi out of thin air. But you've made one very serious logical error that I simply cannot overlook. Did you forget the basic conceit of this trial? I think I might have actually. There's so much going on, it's getting a little hard to follow. Then let me brief you on the case so far. We are not trying to ascertain who was lurking. We are trying to figure out who broke into Bronya's locker. Even if Tigiri is the proprietor in this disgusting nerd object, how does that give him a motive? Sweet obs from the auditor. Kid, this sword boy is worth any of our time. Once again, we arrive at the only logical conclusion based on the evidence. Your client is Guilty. Right. No. No, wait a minute, Stell. Gives a chance to mount a rebuttal before gloating, wouldn't you? It is customary under this new trial process. I've never known you to postpone gloating under any circumstances. Of course not, but we're running a lab of sorts. What kind of experiment would it be if we weren't to test all the variables, huh? You know just how to sweet-talk me. And how does his honorable tyranny feel about allowing the defense to mount rebuttal? You'll allow it. One chance. But you pick carefully or it's game over. Let's take another look at the evidence to see if we can figure out why Tagari was hanging around the jaillockers. Are you absolutely sure? Yes, I'm sure. Well, what you got for us, Joe? This. Interesting. A few years ago, I stepped on my brother's Tiger handheld and cracked the screen. There was no way I could glue it back together. But my babysitter showed me how you can use clear nail polish to seal cracks in delicate surfaces while also preventing further damage. I mean, she didn't put it like that. She explained that nitroglycose dissolved in a volatile amalgate would form a clear, flexible varnish over the LCD screen. You can seal hairline fractures without ruining the way something looks. Smart. Tagari has done nothing but mock the Jades for their delicate behavior since this case started. So he must have known that one of them would have something like this in her locker. Compelling argument, Joe. What do you say, the witness? Ah! I cannot confirm or deny anything. What? Oh my god. What do you mean by that? Let me explain. Why your supposition asserts that the culprit in this case would have to process advanced reflexes, refined instincts, and intelligence within a top percentile. You have only provided a material motive. You have yet to present a cogent, psychological reason to prove Miss Ursama's accusation. Is this something we really care about? Of course. You're deeply thirsty for a glimpse into my dark and tortured soul. And it actually sounds like you have a pretty good idea of where you want this to go, so why don't you just tell? Was expected of a low IQ thin blood. No sense of drama or suspense. Why would I hand you the key to my defeat? In the immortal words of the famous philosopher Patra Bentur, hit me with your best shot. Well, I have something that can prove you wanted to read fresh teeth. I have your internet history. How did you even get that? I mean, how's this going to help your case? All you're going to prove is that I am a genius of the highest caliber who spends his days exploring literary masterworks. Reading literary masterworks? More like reading cheap, exploitative, X-rated nonsense. I implore the court to look further at some of these researches. Female rainbow drinker. Oh my god. Female rainbow drinker. Kismesis reader quadrant. Facilitating Fang Femdom. Bioluminescent waifu gives 2D animated 3PD. Female rainbow drinker. Mate spread. Reader hurt comfort. Quizilla XXX suck me bone dry. Need I go further? We're making a mockery of my intellectual actualism. These are searches for only the most serious of scholarly. Then, do you care to explain why you were searching for this weird stuff, if not to get your rocks off? Nothing about my internet history is salacious, in the least, and only a noob would call it filthy. But inevitably, I owe you no further explanation, for my internet searches relate to only the most sensitive topics, a man's waifu. And if you're forcing me to reveal my waifu without consent, that's essentially challenging me to a duel. Unless, of course, your waifu is shit, I am proud to say that my waifu is among the highest of echelons. Even God tier does not suffice to describe it. It's pretty clear that he is, and that he didn't do it. I'm not sure how to proceed. If we dismiss him now, Stelson might just end the trial right there. And why just not let him dig his own grave? Because it wouldn't be right either. I don't want him getting convicted just because he's an idiot. We need to prove Daria is innocent by finding the real culprit, not by throwing someone else under the bus. Interesting take. You're adding challenging variables to my theory of defenses led to racial relation that I haven't even considered. They're not challenge variables, we're here to find the truth, right? Sure. The truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, exactly. And find the whole truth. Should be easy. Just prove that he never read Fresh Teeth. Alright, let's take it from the top. If it's not salacious, then what is it? It is dark web contraband, text that the masses cannot handle. I am an elite hacker admin of a hidden virtual library which hosts realms of these forbidden texts. Okay, you're trying to make it sound really cool by using all these big words and being abstract and stuff, but to me it seems like you just enjoy reading naughty novels. Plebs like you may consider it naughty, but I operate on a higher plane of existence. I understand real literature. I am an expert in all sorts of banned books, from censored cartoons to the edgiest of light novels. So, does that include the Rainbow Emotion Saga, like you knew about it before this whole train ride? Of course, what kind of elite level poet warrior would I be if I were not aware of every single banned book that have ever been written? That seems pretty important. I think you should mention you've been reading filthy books in your testimony. It's not filthy, it's fine art. In that case, can I read you a passage from this book? Go ahead and tell me if you recognize. That is beneath me, but I'll do it for the dramatics. Okay, here we go. The sultry, joint-legged, blonde beast meandered up to her brood leader, Gunstar, her hips swaying back and forth. Her chest was covered in the rainbow smears of her fresh kill, of which there were many. She dropped to her knees before him, her hands clasped in prayer, begging for redemption. Oh, my starbrood! How could you abandon me like this? I must have taken on your nightly hunt, ejaculated the blonde. I must prove myself before the moon spirit, and my mate spirit, sword stain, will be cold. Sound familiar? Of course it's familiar, obviously. This is a passage from the profane text in question. Objection! If you really knew about the Rainbow Hemo Emotion Saga, you would know the scene I just read was from a totally different novel. You've just been duped by Soldier Purbeast Volume 16, Part 3, The Great Squeak Beast Hunt. Yeah, Soldier Purbeast is a totally different genre too. I think you might be lying about knowing all this cool contraband stuff. Shut your grub shoots, you quivering normie bitch! Okay. I am many things. I am handsome, hardcore, and indescribably badass. But I am no liar. Alright, clap, clap. Good show, guys and gals. Glad this is all settled. Now we can agree to get this man out of the stand. Did you not hear me? I am many things, but I am no liar. I didn't claim the passage of the text was from the Rainbow Drinker novel. I said it was from the profane text in question. That couldn't mean anything. I was telling the truth. Yes, we all heard you. Now please leave before you make an even bigger fool of yourself. No, I refuse. Don't you understand? I did it! I stole a book from the locker. It was the coolest thing I've ever done, and I looked like an absolute fucking badass as I stalked through the shadows and sniped the forbidden novel like the Bishonen anti-hero that I am. I read it, oh yes, I read it, because my brain is the size of a fucking planet and both sides of it are in shadow. I am the dark side. I am the darkness. Oh god. LMAO. Alright, I think we've had enough fun for the day. Let's end this LARP session. Are you listening to me? I said I did it. I'm guilty. Look and bother my buddy. This some juicy confesh. Listen, if you're so committed to getting cold, I may have to oblige you, but since I'm so nice, I'll give you one more chance to back out before calling the case. Why would I back out? Gosh, this trial is a total bust. Won't it? There's a crucial piece of evidence that's been overlooked. Oh, I'm sorry, I must have missed something. No, it's cool. There's just some insider info I have. To Gary. Would you hand me your sword? This blade is my life, my body, my soul. Yeah, just hand it over. Or I petition his honorable tyranny to require it for me. I don't want it to leave my side. Hand over, big bud. She knows what's up. Here. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I have before me the katana our witness claims to have used to steal the contraband item from Miss Ursula's locker. Now, pay close attention. I will draw this sword from its sheath and slice my hand off at the wrist. Surely if the blade were sharp enough to cut metal, it would be sharp enough to cut bone. Even without my sad little bookworm muscles applying the force. Stop! Honeybee, what are you doing? Tysius, no! You need both hands to hold things. Oh, it's totally dull. Not even a paper cut. See? No matter how hard I slice myself with it, it fails to cut through even the thinnest part of my wrist. Gary, this sword is nothing but a cheap knockoff. I think you got this at Troll Spencer's Gifts. No, this must be a mistake. Alright, somebody pull off Stan before he has a fainting spell. You got it. Wait, if Tagari's sword didn't cut the lock, then what did? Like I said before, this foolish diversion, we've already identified the high-quality nail file in Daria's locker. And that nail file is Daria's! I tear her apart already. Now here's a go. Who knows what I'm calling on her a test. Alright. Before the Nana stops at the stand, I have something really important to say. Hello everyone. I'm well, it's a little scared to be up here in front of all of you. Especially since I have a terrible dramatic secret that will change the whole course of this trial. What sort of dramatic secret, dear? It really hurts to do this. Oh, I'm close to breaking down. My blood pressure aches, but I cannot stand by and do nothing. You see, in order to protect poor sweet innocent Dahlia, I must present a piece of evidence that maybe might implicate another one of my precious friends. I have before me Minerva's secret diary. Her what now? Minerva's diary? Excuse me? How dare you? How do you even know about that? If you're always citing it during our lessons and you think I'm not paying attention. Anyway, contained within are detailed dates and times that prove that Dahlia could not have stolen any part of the Rainbow Emotion Saga. Ooh. Pass over the diary, sweetheart, and let the auditors scrutinize the documents. The relevant timeline starts on page 406. I bookmarked it for you. I see. This is an incredibly detailed account of where each J-Blood was during the theft. All parties are accounted for excluding Minera. Don't keep it to yourself, sis. Share the how it goes. Of course. I will now read aloud the appropriate passage concerning the accused. Oh. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh. What is this? And how are you making all that noise in your mouth? Oh, another census of diary with nail polish. Ooh. That seems counterproductive. I didn't write any of that. Okay, I wrote some of it. Most of it. But not all of it. If this is all true, I think it disqualifies Daria from being the culprit since she was getting a snack during the theft. Yeah, sure, a snack. Well, this is exciting development. Thank you very much for sharing this piece of evidence, my dear. Is there anything else you would like to present before the court? Oh, that's all. I hope it clears some things up. Alright, this was extremely helpful. We will have to call Daria up to the stand before I can confirm to deny anything within this journal. Wait! I'd like to look at the diary before we go any further. There might be some important details inside. I want to call a recess. Okay, let's save here for now. This video is getting long. I'll make the final part next, I promise. I'm sorry, this is so long. But yeah, we're getting closer and closer to figuring it out.